All right. So now this is also, we all know, right, what's going on. We all know this kind of place, this kind of phase, this kind of stage. I mean, life is a stage, and I really have to say that when I started with this, everything I did was really in a rush, like fucking hell. I was like really rushing it, and I mean, just look at the first 2 months of this show, like this year, 2023, like January and February, you can basically see the transition with cannabis and without cannabis. Anybody who wants can basically study that by himself. So I have now basically smoked no cannabis for, I didn't even know I was doing this, right? I mean, so I was not, and now I start, see? All kinds of emotions. And that's the thing. Without cannabis, you're more focused on just doing it or something, right? You're like rushing through it. And with cannabis, you suddenly walk through here. It's like, whoa, there's a tree. Whoa, there's a tree as well. Hello, my friend. This is Christopher. And I smoked some weed. Because literally, this society is so stressful. I mean, it chills you out. Basically, when you would be chilled, you'd be then out, right? I don't really understand. All I can say is, right, I mean, you come with me to nature like this. You know, I don't have to have schedules anymore now. You know, I just make good content. And I take the time to do so. But now let's tell you something. That while I do like it, that cannabis now makes me kind of chilled. Sometimes it's better to be a bit stressed. So that's really important. Because if you're always this chilled, like super slowly, right, like you waste a lot of your potential. Because if you're always this chilled, right, you don't like go through here and like jump on the things, right? You don't do that if you if you just want to chill. You know, if you do smoke cannabis, you have to really go to some like nice place. And whether that is nice place in your room, because that's where you may feel more comfortable in the beginning, and it may be in nature, but that's a bit harder, I have to say. So yeah, with cannabis, this is a true revelation, because now I've smoked cannabis and I actually thought I would never film myself on substances, but I think it should be alright. I don't know if I'm ever going to show anything else, but I just have to tell you that suddenly I'm aware of all these different trees. So I walk through here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's like, you know, they're all different beings. And when you come here, it's like a nice day, right? It's not really cold. I'm dressed warm enough. And then you go to that tree and you just look at it like a living thing. And I don't know if you can see that. Sometimes, you know, you see faces in the trees. A lot of trees have like real faces, and this is how I walk through nature, by focusing on the fine differences. Because something I've learned now from Terence McKenna is an expression called the concurrence. And the concurrence, as I have understood it now from what he has said, is basically what presses shape into matter. And that's empty space, right? So it's an expanding thing, like a vagina, you could say, where you find yourself in. And then you can like start, like, because it's it's like a, I can make waves, is what I'm trying to say. And that's also the thing. You can learn with cannabis to be really like in flow, because you start feeling this kind of, oh, I can move something here. And you can be really in flow, but you also have to practice this. Like, you have to go and start to move. So when you do smoke cannabis, you don't sit around. You smoke cannabis and you just start to move, to feel, right? This is how I started, to dance, like. Right. It doesn't really matter. This isn't perfect, but it's a beginning, right? I mean, what's perfect? I mean, literally, what's perfect? I mean, that dog, he just learns, right? If the dog doesn't do anything, he just sniffs, right? If it's boring, this dog always wants to do something. And so do you, so you have to start moving. And if you don't, see, I'm also learning. So you're moving. And of course, shoes is also nice for the beginning. And then you can practice taking off your shoes and walking through here. And of course, you will walk like a little pussy in the beginning. I mean, you don't have to like pretend, oh, I walked and it was really awesome. While you're in reality, we're more like, So you can just say, it fucking hurt. But I think, it's a beginning just to realize what I can actually do with shoes. But also now, I often get to this point, when should I take them off? So I walk and then I think, should I take them off now? Nah, rather do it later. Because then I also have to, I have to like carry the shoes. But only when I do it, but see, now I don't want to do it. So maybe I don't, maybe I'll do it another time. That's also something that I've learned. You don't always have to really push it. Because I also know right now I'm still recording. And although, yes, I can be really chilled about it and just walk around like, yeah, I'm just talking about something, and yeah, you know what, this like really nice forest, I see is a tree, yeah, cool guy, see dog, it's like, oh, you know what up, man, sick shit, deep grass, like, yeah, life's like, a bit boring, sometimes a bit nice, can do all kinds of things, like, yeah, whatever, just had sex, like, boom, boom. Instead of being like this, you could also be like, hey, what could I do next? Because now I've realized there's shit to do, what should I do then? So, it isn't enough to be just always like relaxed, like, you also have to be like, right, like, okay, hey, hello, and welcome to Spiritual Advice from a Barbarian Lunatic. My name is Christopher, and I would like to bring you to nature, to show you just a bit of the world, the way I see it, right? So, as you've seen also, the past couple of days, I haven't really smoked cannabis, but I was still able to come to nature and film me like this, didn't I? You know, now you could say, well, yeah, I'm smoking, really chill. But you could also say, hey man, I'm building my life. And when I'm too chilled, I can't do shit. So, if you use cannabis to make you only chilled, you know, your life will be really chilled. And what you actually want is like more like a hot and cold mixture. Because chilled is like cool, you know, it's like, yeah, you know, but hot is like, wow, like, you know, woohoo, like senorita, like, ay, ay, ay. You know, that's like more like hot. So, you know, maybe you don't want always fiery senorita. Maybe sometimes you want like, you know, I don't know. So you just do something in the middle. And although I did say I want to stop being the clown, you know, I mean, who's the clown? The guy who walks around in nature and says, oh, I'm gonna live my life like I want. Or is the clown somebody who wears like powder in the face? Somebody who, yeah, smears himself with stuff? You know, I mean, you know, I've never really seen it like this, but who's the clown, right? They're laughing at the clown, but the clown is basically them. And they're laughing at the clown, they're laughing at themselves. Because the clown wears a mask, right? And the people sitting there, they laugh at the misery of the clown or the stupidity of the clown. Why do they have to do that? You get it? Which means they're laughing at themselves. And that's sometimes how some people want to be treated. Like, they want to be treated like shit because the clown also chooses to be the clown. I mean, you're not a clown just for no reason. And we'll come back to that because I don't have all goddamn day to just talk to you about shit. Because also I have to do other things, like I record this stuff and then I have to render it. It's like take fucking hours to create some shit content for YouTube so that you can be like, oh, what is he talking about? You know, you should be more like, I want to live my fucking life and I'm going to use that fucking bastard, learn what he learned, and I'm going to do it a bit different. Just the way that I like it to be, you know, like woohoo. But instead of being like woohoo, you're more like, all right, nobody's watching, like nobody's watching. It's like, it's awesome, man. This is really awesome. Look at this. We're like running through the forest. Like, woohoo. It's like, whoa, a puddle. There was a puddle. It's like a real puddle. It's like a real puddle. Puddle of mud, muddle of pud. It's like, or a bottle of pot. So you see, the dog doesn't know what's going on. What's going on? See, this is really me, right? Raw power, full potential, bit sensitive, bit fucked up, bit of an asshole, and you guys are gonna love it, and I can't help it. I'm just like that. I'm just like that. Da-da-da. I hear the music. See, I've never done it like this. I never knew this would be how it's gonna be. So if I would never have done it, I couldn't have known. So those were my deeds. Hey, hey. See? Now, for instance, it is much better to be barefoot. The thing is, now it's a bit difficult because also I have to keep that dog from trying to imitate me to basically kill itself. And with that, I'm gonna say to you that I have spent hours practicing walking over trees like this. You know, I have spent years studying the art of movement. So what I want to tell you is, just because I'm doing this with a dog running around down there without touching the tree, just walking over it, I can tell you that I've spent hours slacklining. Hey, runter. See? Well, she seems to be a natural. So you see, I cannot tell you what's right for you because I couldn't have believed she would be able to do it. So, you know, if I would have kept watching her, she would have never figured it out because I would have said, oh my God, don't do it. But now I did my thing, she did her thing. So, right, you figure it out for yourself. You know, I know that this doesn't come from nothing, right? So I've done my work. Like, I spent hours literally training balance. So, I mean, I didn't know how good I was until I started doing this stuff. This is like challenge in nature that you do by yourself. And it will calm you down, it will train your whole body. So I've already said it all, right? I've already basically said it all. All I can tell you is this for a human meets a lot of honing of your skills, figuring out what you want, right? Like this, I'm balancing at the same time. There's a dog, there's me. It's like everything. And that can be learned through substances like cannabis. So you learn to balance your consciousness, to keep it all up here. But for that also, you know, why not make it a bit fun? And do things like slacklining, you know, do things like crochet. They are all designed to keep you in the here and now, right? You can basically do this while washing the dishes, holding your consciousness in that I am perfect, the world is great, I love my wife, right? I'm a whatever, generally happy human being. I love giving as much as I love receiving, and you know, I don't prefer. And I go into nature and I connect with the trees and I grow like awesome things and I discover how I want to live the world, right? I never knew this channel would be like this. So because I was persistent and I saw that people actually, you know, somewhat liked it, at least they were starting to see potential. And I started this. I used it not to figure out what you people want, but holy shit, you know, they really just want me. Because all the content that I created was 100% me. And they started liking it. And I knew it because I knew in my heart, this is gonna be great. Like, it's great already because it feels awesome. So I just kept going. And then the views started shooting up and I thought, okay, now it's getting serious. Okay, so why not give it your all? Right, so who cares? You know, I'll smoke when I feel like it. I'll do rapé when I feel like it. You know, I'll do all kinds of things when I feel like it. Because if everything I did until now brought me to this place right here, then why the fuck would I give a shit about, you know, not doing things? I don't know, you know, that now, you know, now I stumbled. Doesn't really matter because I should give a shit. Because what I do have to know is when to quit.